do want to click on record because we love to give these recordings to your district so that they can use it for anyone who wanted to be here but were unable to be here. And I will share with you where you can find these recordings after today, and you can have access to them then. So before we kick off, I just want to remind you of your instructional core and how Schoology is such a great tool for supporting all learners. You'll learn a lot about it today and as you move forward with any other Schoology training that you do with me or my team. But I just want to check everybody good to go. If there's any questions before I kick off. Okay. So today's topic, we are getting refreshed with Schoology. So some of you may have had Schoology training in the past and might be a little rusty. So that's what today is about. Or you are new with Schoology and it's something you want to use in your classroom, but you could use some training to refresh your memory about what to do. So that is what today's topic is about. Matthew, did you want to say anything before I went further?
Yeah, thank you, Danny.
Of course.
We had 40 teachers sign up today, but I know, as you said, maybe a couple more will trickle in as the presentation gets started. But thank you for all the teachers that joined today. Danny is a fantastic presenter from Schoology, so I'm really excited for you all to learn a lot of good tips and tricks with Schoology. So we have a series of these Schoology trainings in the PD catalog. Each one is 2 hours in length. They all count for the PD incentive. So you can go in PD catalog, sign up for more of these. And each one we're going over a different topic. So today we're starting with Get Freshed, but Danny's going to show you, for those that use Schoology before, some new ways to use it. For those who are just getting started, these will be best practices and really good tips to get you started for this school year. But thank you, Danny. I will end the session when you end towards the 5:45 time. Just let me know and I'll mention just our closing part and our feedback survey that we do in our district.
Sounds good. I sure will. All right. So I'm going to keep us going. And we are going to be talking again, like we mentioned, we're going to be getting refreshed with Schoology. My name is Danny Patterson, just as my name shows. And Matthew said, I'm a learning and innovation coach at PowerSchool/Schoology. And I'm actually in Texas. So if you look at the corner of my screen and you see that it's 5:40, reminder, that is my time. I know it's 3:40 where you are, but just give you a heads up, I am in the Central Time Zone. I am a previous educator, director of digital learning, and many other duties in between. I think what's most important is that I help two local school districts roll Schoology out from ground zero out. So I've seen Schoology used in very different ways, and I get to continue to see that as I do more trainings for them moving forward. There's a little bit about me. I need to change this to like almost 2 years because I'll be a Power Schooler come 2 years this time next month. So I'm really excited to hit my 2-year anniversary at Power School. And in the time that I've been at Power School, I have worked with Modesto during those 2 years. So it's really exciting. I'd love to know who I have here in the group. So if you wouldn't mind finding that chat, and if you might be rusty with Zoom, down at the bottom, you will see mute, unmute. You have your video camera, but one area is a chat. So find that chat, open it up, and type for me your name and what your role is in Modesto. I'd love to hear about it. History, yay. Preschool, love it. 3rd grade. We got a lot of junior high, 6th grade. 3rd. Oh, 3rd grade reading was my favorite. Ooh, a STEM teacher. Awesome. And the perk of this whole part, now that I kind of know my audience today is that you did find the chat. So use that. If you see something you're really excited about, let me know in the chat. There's reactions in there. Also, if you are somebody that is using Schoology and I share a best practice like Matthew mentioned, and you're using it, put it in there and say, I love Pages. I use Pages to post my agenda each day or something similar. Use that chat. The more engaged and interactive you are, definitely the better learning that will happen today. So I appreciate you taking that time and introducing yourself to me. So here are learning objectives for today. What is it that we're planning to do? You will see these again in our course, so this won't be the first or last time you see them, but we just want to make sure that you know what it is to expect. I just sat in a training the other day and they did not give me the learning objectives, and I felt lost. Like I feel like I was floundering. Like, what is what is it that I'm going to learn today? Like, what am I doing? And so I feel learning objectives as a learner is very important. So here they are for you. Just a couple of session reminders that you'll see in all of the sessions you do with me is that this is a psychological safety space. Whenever you're using technology, especially if it's not your strength, it feels uncomfortable and you're feeling a little vulnerable, know that you're in a safe spot. You can send a private message just to me. And if you do, I do not say, yes, Danny, that is a great question. I will say, I will just ask the question out loud and answer it out loud without putting a name to it. And that goes back to if you have questions, please ask. You found the chat, be sure to use it. I'm also going to show you our course. Um, I will show you some places you can send messages through the course too. I would encourage you to have a Schoology sandbox for today. And the reason is because if you are a learner like me, now I know there are different learners out there, there's note takers, there's observers, but I'm somebody who has to try things out as I learn it. And I think that's important as a learner because it's going to stick when you apply. We know what Bloom's taxonomy says. So I'm going to pause really quickly. And if there's anyone in here that does not have a sandbox course, and what a sandbox course is a course where you get messy, just like a sandbox. Kids get in there, they have a little fun, it gets really messy. But a sandbox course in Schoology, that's the whole purpose of it. It's where there's no kids, nobody's in there but you. You can kind of get a little messy, try things out, and it won't affect any of your current courses. So if anybody wants me to do how to create a sandbox course, I'd love to do that before we go too much further in. But if you guys already have one, I don't want to waste your time. So is there anyone that wants me to showcase how to create a sandbox course? Let me know. You can do reactions. You can put it in the chat, unmute. Okay, we got one person. All right, thank you. So I'm going to show you. All right, so in your Schoology, so from your Schoology, you're going to want to locate what we call the navigation bar. It's at the top of your Schoology. You're going to want to click on courses from the top. So again, if you're following along, you're in your Schoology, you're going to click that courses. Then you're going to drag your mouse over and you're going to click on where you see my courses. Again, courses, my courses. Once you click on my courses, you're going to see two buttons on the right and one being join a course. We'll get to that one later. So remember where this is at. But what we want to do is we want to create a course. So click on that create a course. And as you can see, it's going to ask you a couple of questions. Let's go through the steps together because I want to make sure you don't make any mistakes. The very first one is what is the course name? And so I encourage you to put your name with your sandbox. So Patterson Sandbox. You can have, Rachel Green Sandbox. If you see other sandboxes populate, do not click on them. If you accidentally clicked on them, go ahead and close out of the box and click on create course again. But remember, put in your last name or your first name and then sandbox because we want to differentiate them. To get rid of the drop down, just click somewhere in the white space and it will disappear. The next asterisk that we need to complete is section name. Section 1 is fine. I always like to put the year so that next year I can create a new one, or if this gets messy and I'm like, when did I create this course? I can remember the year that I created it. The next area down is subject area and level. Now you can select your subject area if you want, or remember, this is just a sandbox course. It doesn't really matter, but you can change it to other. And then same thing with the level. You can select your grade level, or there is the option for none. Remember, this is a sandbox. It's just to be messy, so you don't have to be, completely specific here. The last step I'm going to ask you to do is to find this bar near the grading periods. When you click on it and you drag it, you're going to drag it to the very, very bottom because we need to find a grading period that is going to stay open for a long time. Now, on my end, I have one that's indefinitely. I forget what yours is called. It's been a while. But you'll want to choose the one to where like this one stays open until November 28, 2031. So you'll want to grab a grading period that will keep it open for a long time. You click on it and go ahead and click create. And now you will have a sandbox. So leave your screen just as you see mine with your sandbox open because we're going to come back and we're going to use this here in a bit. So leave that open. Like I said, we're going to come right back to it in just a bit. All right, I'm going to come back to my slides. Am I good? Any questions before I move on? Now that we have a sandbox course, we're good to go. All right, I don't see any questions. Nobody's unmuting. All right, I'm going to continue on. Okay, some of you, this may be your very first Schoology training. That might be exactly what you called it before you came today. That is okay. When I was in my very first Schoology training, I told all my friends I was headed to Schoology training, and they were all like, "Oh, I don't think that's the name of it." But I come to find out with my first session, it is actually Schoology. So I was pronouncing it miscorrectly, and people do it all the time. There's even a funny video out there of like kind of like it reminds me of like Saturday Night Live or something whenever they go out in the streets and ask people to say words and they would ask them to say Schoology and they would say Schoology. And so here's the proper definition of Schoology, which is the proper pronunciation. And I'm going to tell you Danny Patterson's definition. Schoology is just an extension of your classroom. That is my definition of it. Right now, you may be feeling like, ooh, this is one more thing I have to learn. Well, this one more thing is going to take 4 things off your plate, 5 things off of your plate. So yes, learning one new thing might feel a little overwhelming. We have 2 hours together today to learn as much as we can at a very slow pace. I do not do this session fast at all. But I do want you to know that many people who I have trained or have been in trainings with me or other educators that have dived into using Schoology as an extension of their classroom will highly agree that it is very helpful and has taken more things off of their plate rather than adding more to it. So what are some things that you can do with Schoology? Well, we are going to talk about how you can use Schoology for your courses and your content, that extension of the classroom, a great tool for student participation, and not just those same students that are always raising their hands, that are always responding to you. When you allow students to participate on a discussion in Schoology, you're going to see those quiet students really flourish. Sharing of resources. What's really great about Schoology is that when one person creates something, they can share it seamlessly. Teams, extracurricular groups. I have to tell you guys, I have a student that has to log into this account to do some work. And then I have to log into Remind to email the teacher. And then they have to log into this to talk to that person. And it's so nice. You can use a group to communicate with students. It's so much simpler rather than having them to download a whole bunch of different other apps. We have integrations, great integrations with Google, OneDrive, YouTube, and many more things. Hold on, I have an alert that somebody's trying to join. There we go. Okay. So we are very proud of our integrations and our students' security and privacy. It's a great place to store instructional resources and really just an endless amount of possibilities. So you guys are very lucky to have a great book that sends to Schoology your courses and users. So what's really great is that your courses are made for you. Today, I'm going to have you join my course. Students do not need to join courses. It's all done for you behind the scenes. You don't even know it's happening. So your courses are made for you. The students in the courses are done for you. You don't have to add them. You don't have to remove them. And it works very seamlessly. So that's such a good perk about having our Power School suite is that things work seamlessly together. So, any questions about courses and Schoology before we dive into the specific areas of Schoology, courses, groups, and resources? All right. Reminder, you have that chat if you have any questions. So when you're looking at Schoology, you see these three main areas. You're going to see courses, you're going to see groups, and you're going to see resources. These are the three main areas of Schoology. Now, administrators and other people within the district may have this tools, but most do not. So you see tools on my end. That's because I have a system admin account into my Schoology, and so that's why I see that. So our three main areas in Schoology, courses, groups, resources. So what are the difference between these three? Well, the first one I told you a bit ago, courses, the extension of your classroom. This is the backbone to teaching and learning. This is where I like to call this like a two-way street. So I say, hey, I post something saying, hey, turn in your assignment. You turn in your assignment. I provide feedback or I give a grade. So again, it's that two-way. Courses are governed by its start and end date. So that's going to be your grading periods, semester, end of the year, beginning of the year. So those are courses. Groups are a good place for communication and collaboration outside of the classroom. This can be for curriculum sharing. Again, why work harder when you can work smarter and all of your teachers come together and take turns creating content and sharing it within a group. This is also a great place to add those students and be able to communicate them if there are any extracurricular clubs or whatnot. The perk of groups is that there are no start and end dates. So once you create a group, that group is there until you physically remove it, or students remove themselves, or you remove students. But the difference between a course and a group is that a group is really a one-way street. It's giving out announcement and giving resources. People can't submit work or collaborate as effortlessly as you could with a course. And then finally, the third area, this is your virtual file cabinet of Schoology work. So you have a Google Drive for all your Google work. I have just a file explorer on my computer for my Microsoft work. But the resources area of Schoology, this is going to be your virtual file cabinet of Schoology things. So as you can see in Schoology, if you click on resources, I have them organized by folders. They call them the collections, but they're folders to me. And in here again, these are Schoology resources. So those make up the three main areas of Schoology, other than like your profile or messaging. Those are the three main areas where work is done, content is delivered, communication is happening, right, all within Schoology. Any questions about those? We'll dive into each of them as we go. All right, so we're going to actually hop into Schoology and talk about what you see when you log into Schoology each time. So here I am at any time. If I get lost within Schoology, if I click on my Schoology logo, it will take me to my landing page. Now you have MCS here from Modesto City Schools. So whenever you get lost, if you want to get to your landing page, you will want to click on that to get back to your landing page. So if you look at your screen and you look at mine and you're realizing, oh, it looks a bit different, you might be on the recent activity landing page. And that's fine. I think for students and teachers, recent activity is wonderful. Now, for my primary kids, I think course dashboard is wonderful. Does it matter? It does not matter. It is up to your preference on how you want your landing page to look. So some of you might be on recent activity, and this is I'm going to compare it to Facebook or Twitter or any other social media platform that you use. Whenever you log in, most recent posts that you haven't seen are going to be at the top of your page. Older posts will go for the bottom. So that's the same for students using Schoology in an academic world. So when they log in, they're going to see the most recent posts by their teachers or by any groups that they're in or a member of. And as they scroll, they will see later posts. So such a great tool for them so that they're not missing any updates from their teachers or announcements from their teachers. They will also see any grades that they get because they will be date and time stamped the time that you graded an assignment for them. Now, I also mentioned Course Dashboard, and this is why I said Course Dashboard is perfect for our primary students because they are in these course cards, and they don't usually need updates as much as our secondary friends might. And I'll show you how you can customize this area. But the course cards match the course cards whenever you click courses. So they are both the same exact thing. The only difference is that by clicking on courses, you only see 12. And under course dashboard, I have way more than 12. And so I can see all of them here. Another perk of this course dashboard area is that you can move your course tiles around. So think of your schedule and period 1, period 2, period 3, and you can move these tiles around to match your schedule. And I know I'm talking about you, but students can also do that. So how helpful it would be for them to have period 1 in this top left corner, period 2, so on and so forth. Now, why don't you go ahead and click on your course dashboard with me and locate that sandbox course that we created together. So as you can see, it's going to be at the very bottom because it was the most recent created course. So I'm going to click on it and I'm going to move it all the way up to the top because I'm going to be using that for today to practice my new learning. Once you join my course, you can even grab my course and move it up to the top. We'll get there in just a moment. So hopefully you were able to click and move a course card around and kind of see how easy it is to move things and reorganize your course's structure. And once you do that and you click on courses from the top navigation bar, you're going to see it. Mine, I need to click a refresh. You're going to see it match up now to the movements that you just made. So those of you that are like, I am going to introduce Schoology to my kids tomorrow. Wait, tomorrow? Yeah, okay. Tomorrow, what is the first thing I can do with them? And the first thing that I encourage you to do with them is to get them all logged in and allow them to reorganize their courses to match their schedule. It's going to be such a huge win for them. All right, I don't see any questions in the chat, so I'm going to keep moving along. Talked about that. Okay, I have a Schoology course for us to join, but I'm going to get in here and get this code and put this in the chat really quick. So in the chat, I pasted a code, and it's this 4-H S9 code, and you'll need this code to join my course. So find that in the chat, highlight it and copy it. And then now I'm going to share with you how to get to my course. I just want to make sure everybody has it. So I told you guys to remember where that button was earlier that said join a course. If you remember how to get there, you go on ahead. But if you need reminder, I'm going to go through the steps with you. You're going to come to your navigation bar and you're going to click that courses button again. You're going to take your mouse and drag it to the right to where you see my courses. It's really small. I always use this to point it out because sometimes you're like, what? Where do I look? Once you click on my courses, remember earlier we created a course? Well, now we're going to join a course. When you click on it, it's asking for that access code. The access code I put in the chat, I also have it here on the screen. Now, if you're somebody who are following along and just observing, I encourage you to take a picture of this, screenshot it. This is being recorded for those that might be watching it back later. If you need it, just let us know. We'll get it back to you. It's in the chat, so easy copy and paste to save for later. While you're waiting, once you've joined my course, as you can see, it's titled Schoology PD Modesto City Schools. I even have a cute little course image that says Modesto Schoology Professional Learning. And you can move this course card now up by your sandbox course if you wanted, just like we did a bit ago. Oh no, it's automatically set to record as soon as we started today's session. So this is all recorded. I selected it to record. So as you can see within our members section of our course, I can see that 14 of us, I'm included in the 14, have been not added, but like you guys joined my course. So I'm able to monitor how many of you have joined, and I can see, how many we have in today's session. I think I have 30 people. Some of you may not be joining right now, which is fine. Like I see someone driving. I don't want you to be joining my course right now. But if you want to join, that's what this is here for. But I like to check and make sure that everyone has got in that wants to get in. You have 2 of you in here, Miss Castellanos. I'm afraid I'm gonna say it wrong. So I'm gonna send the other one to the waiting room. There, does that make it sound better? Because you had 2 of you in here, so there could be a reason. That could be a reason why. Yes, okay. We've got 16 of us in here, yay. While we wait, I am going to go add a student so that we have a student present. There we go. Look at us go. Look at y'all go. Woohoo, look at this. Yes, confetti. I love that Chrome extension. So you may have forgot a letter or something. I would try copying it again. Just make sure you did courses, my courses, and you didn't do groups, my groups. Because if you do groups, it won't let you use that access code. I'll try it one more time and make sure you have all of the letters and numbers. When you land, I have a welcome letter for you. I even have your instructional core in here again. Just want to make sure you know that that's there. And our folder for today's learning will be here with all of our content for today. So I'm just letting you know that this is our stuff. As you can see, I have things that are unpublished. So for you, you do not see some of this content, and that is on purpose because I get to publish work and unpublished work as I go. And so do you as a teacher. You get to do those things as well. So I am going to, let me share with you my little tech tip for the day. So if you're in my course, if you want to take your mouse and hover it over the Google tab. So you're on Google Chrome, you put your mouse on the tab and you right click, you can duplicate your tab. So this is helpful so you don't lose the page that you're currently at, because on the second tab, you can go somewhere else and you still have my course on the first tab. On the second tab, you can have your sandbox course open. And that's helpful for today so you can try things out as we go. Did you get in? I want to make sure everybody's got it. 20 of us now. It's good. If not, let me know. Oh, goodness. All right, so let's get going on just a quick overview of some Schoology pieces. Again, this might be new for some, This might be a refresher for all, but that's what today's session is about, okay? So let's begin by talking about the Schoology pieces that you see. So going across the top, we talked about courses, not fully, but I've told you what this is. We talk about groups. When I click on groups, we have a groups area, a simple group, 2024 seniors. I've got my chess club. I even started a Swifties group. But now you have access to creating these groups. The next one over are the resources. So if you're following along, click on that resources and you can see how simple it is to organize your resources once you get in here. Yours might be empty, and that's because you might be a beginner at this, but check out how simple it is to create a new folder within your resources. So I click on this, it looks like a banker box. When I click on it, all I got to do is give it a title, and I can call it 2023 resources. Click create, and now as you can see, I have a folder, banker box collection. Call it whatever you want. It just allows you to help organize your course, your content that can come from courses, that can come from groups within your resources. Very simple. Let me put the code back in the chat for people. Try that code again. Something must be up. All right. What's really great in this resources, if you are here with me, is that you have your personal resources on the left. You have your public resources, which is like um, I call it like teacher pay teachers, but for Schoology, and it's free. If you click on public resources, you can see all kinds of resources that are out there that are available to you. You can search. You can filter by subject, type, level, file format. Definitely a good place for you to check before you go to create. Maybe somebody has already created it for you. And if you find something you like, it's very simple to add to your resources just by clicking on this plus arrow. Once you click on the plus arrow, it goes into your personal resources under downloads. So again, if you go to public and you see anything you like and you click on the plus arrow, it saves it to your downloads section of your personal resources. Ta-da. You also have a group resources. So in here, any groups that you're a member of, you can locate the resources in here as well. Just another place to find it. And then the very last one is your apps. And this is very helpful because as you go, you may want to grab content from your drive that you have already created. And you don't want to have to go to your drive, find the item, get the link, put the link in Schoology. So by having the Google Drive resource app turned on and connected, you're going to cut out a couple of those steps. So be sure to click on it and check that you're logged in. If you're not logged in, you'll just need to click on the options and select account settings. And then the next steps will allow you to log into your Google. Be sure to log in your district Google and not your personal Google. Again, just helps cut out some steps as you use your Google Drive things that you've created within Schoology. Any questions about resources? Okay. Let's keep moving across our top navigation bar. We've looked at these items. Let's head over to the right side. The first one is very self-explanatory. It is a search bar. So I can search by a student. I can search by content. Very simple. I have an app switcher. Each district's app switcher looks different. These are apps that your district has installed within Schoology. The next one over is my favorite one. And I don't know what's going on with me, but I've been very passionate about the Schoology calendar this year. And I don't know why. But let me just get on my soapbox very briefly about the importance of a calendar. Now, when I was in middle school, I had to carry around my cute little agenda that the district bought me, and I had to have it in every class, or else I would lose points that day. And I would have to write tests, important dates. I had to write everything in my agenda every single day. And that was something I had to keep because I was told to. And what a skill that I didn't realize I was being taught then. And so now Schoology can support students at such a young age about how to manage a calendar. Like it's just what? Didn't even think you'd have to teach kids that, right? I mean, who taught me? I guess my middle school did. Who knows? But what a great tool for students to manage their dates. So when you click on your calendar, as you can see, I have events on my calendar letting me know what's going on. What's really cool is when I click on all calendars, I can color code them. So as you create work in your course, and I'll show you this, I promise, you can put due dates on the work. So you have a test coming up, you put a due date on it, and then students will know that they have a test coming on Friday, the 27th, and hopefully they know not to put their doctor's appointment that day. What's really cool is, as you can see, these are put on here because my teacher put them on there. But I can, if I want, I can add my dog's birthday. As you can see, my dog, his name is Sparta. It's his birthday. I just click on a box and I can add my own events. So what a great concept for kids to put down their doctor's appointments and monitor important things that are happening. Yep, as you can see, I just click into a box and it allows me to add to my calendar. Now, this is only my calendar that I can add events to. I can't add to the class calendar or any group calendar because only administrators can do that. But once an administrator adds it to the class calendar, it shows up on all the students in that class's calendar. Very simple, very cool tool. And if they have the Schoology app downloaded on their phone, they have their calendar at their fingertips. It's really cool. And I promise when we get to courses and building and whatnot, you're going to see how simple it is to add due dates, as well as how simple it is to add events to a calendar. Actually, let's go add an event to our Sandbox course right now. So remember, we have our tab, which is mine in my course, but I asked you to create a second tab so that you can have your Sandbox course. So here we are. I'm in my Sandbox course where I'm going to be messy, and I'm going to come over to the upcoming area. And this is where you get to add events to the calendar. So remember, you have no one in this course, so you're not going to add anything to anyone's calendar, just your own. So if you click on that add event, you can see we have a win. So you have a date. So go ahead and grab a date. I'm going to do Halloween on the 31st. I can add a time. So I can do, let's do 6. I think they do trick or treating at 6 p.m. I can add an end time so I know what time it starts, what time it ends. Does this need to be repeated? So if you do chess club and chess club meeting is the third Thursdays of every month, you can actually click on this. Oh, it's not showcasing it. It's supposed to be there. Hopefully on your end you see repeat every week, every 31st or every third Thursday. I don't know why mine's blacked out. Let's click on it one more time and see. There we go. Just being silly. But I was wondering if maybe it's because it's the 31st. It's because it's the last day of the month. Look at that. I found a little glitch there, didn't I? Okay. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to give it a title. And I can give a description. So I can type about it, give some more information if needed. And for me, because I use Schoology courses for PD, I usually put Zoom links in here so they have access to the Zoom link. You can attach files. So if you have a flyer to go along with it, you can attach it here. Links, you can attach things from your resources, which if you remember, we just connected our Google Drive as a resource. So I can grab content from my Google Drive right onto my calendar if needed. I can add audio and video recording, all of this to my calendar event. Do I need an RSVP? Now remember, these are only people that are in your course or the group that you create this. Do you want them to RSVP to your event? I always turn commenting off on my events. Kids don't need to comment on them. If they have questions about my event, they can send me a message. That's your discretion. That's just mine. Previous educator. I know those kids. And then finally, anytime you see this clipboard, it has a clipboard with a piece of paper. This is allowing you to copy to your other courses. So if this is an event that's going to happen across all of your courses, why redo this in each course when I can just click on it and I click on the check marks next to the course, and this will show up in all the courses rather than me having to do this in every single course. I click create, and now I've created my first event. And if you go to your calendar and you look, you're going to see it show up on your calendar if I have my calendar set. Trick or treating, yay. Very simple. So this was manually adding an event. Now, as we go and we create assessments or assignments or discussions, those due dates you can put on the material. We'll talk about that. So it could be because you're looking at my course. You need to look at your course where you're the teacher of. Maybe you hopped on just a bit ago, so you might have missed the steps of creating a sandbox course, but just find a course that you have that you can try these out. But you'll need to make sure that when you click courses, you see this little badge with the star, because that means you're the administrator of the course. If you don't see that, like on my course, you should not see a badge with the star. All right, any questions about the calendar? Next to the calendar is very self-explanatory. It is an envelope, which is for messaging. Students can message teachers. Students cannot message students. So for example, I'm going to be sick. I'm going to send my teacher a message. I just click on the envelope. I click on message, and I can start typing in a name just like you can in, Gmail, Outlook. As soon as you start typing a name, all the people at your district start populating, and they can choose who they need to send the message to, give it a subject. I can send message with text. I can attach documents, files, links, stuff from my Google Drive again, or from my drive in Schoology. I can even send audio and video recording. I'm such a huge voice memo person. I'm always sending voice memos to people. And so you can do that in Schoology. I send the message and off it goes. As people send you messages, teachers can message teachers, students can message teachers. You'll get notifications up on that envelope letting you know that you have some messages to read. You will also receive an email of message. So you can get it in two places so you make sure you don't miss it. But if you also have the Schoology app downloaded on your phone, you will also get a push notification of the message. Same thing for students if they have the Schoology app downloaded as well. Moving over, if you have any notifications, just like any other social media that you are a member of, anything that you've missed or anything you've been tagged in, kind of the same thing here. Any work that's been submitted, I can see that I have some comments on my parking lot, which I'll get to shortly. I have people submitting work. I have a test completed. I have things being posted. And when I click view all, I get a long list of all of it. Great if you need a quick date and time stamp for something, you can come here. If anyone invites me to join any groups, that will be under requests, or if I set I set a group where I allow people to request to join, it will show up under requests saying I'd like to join your group. And then finally, if you did that RSVP on your calendar event, it will show up in this request area saying that you have this calendar event, RSVP, yes or no, yes or decline. Excuse me. All right, and then now let's head to the area where you see your name. Now, don't freak out when you see me click my name because I have a lot of personalities for my trainings. So when I click on it, I have a lot. Where I want to get you to is where it says your profile. So if you can click on that, I just want to point out this area so that you can update your profile. You don't have to do this now, but it is important that you have a nice professional headshot. I do not recommend pictures of your kids or, like all kinds of filters that they can't tell who you are, because as you post and as you're active in groups, they're going to want to know, who is this Danny Patterson? And when they click on it, it will take them to this profile. So anyone within your district can see your profile. So be very thoughtful and professional about what you post here. If you want to change yourself from your blue rectangle, you just hover over it and you're going to see edit picture. Locate a photo that you have on your computer. Unfortunately, if you do not have your Google Drive set as one of your options, you may need to go download it from Google Drive first before you attach the file. Sometimes I have great headshots on my phone, so I can email that to myself to get it into Schoology if needed. You also want to put a bio about yourself so people know who you are. It shows my name, it shows what campus I'm connected to, but they might want to know what subject level you teach or anything else. I can click on this edit, and when I do, I can add my bio, I can add my birthday. Maybe my students will give me a nice gift on my birthday. You never know. I don't recommend putting too much here. Again, remember, students can see this. They really don't need to know about activities and interests. For contact information, I do not recommend a personal phone number or a personal website. Keep it professional. Your phone number can go to your campus. Your website could be your campus or your district website. As you add things, be sure to click that Save Changes so that it updates it for your profile. As you can see on my profile, I have any badges that I've earned in any courses. Only certain people within your district can see what courses you're a member in or admin of, and same thing of groups. Not everyone can see this area. It's kind of hidden for most. Any questions about your profile? Right, there's one more area I want to direct your attention to. If you could click on your name again and go down to settings. I just want you to know that in this settings area, there are two important things here. The first one being, at the start of our training, I had shared with you, whenever I click on Schoology up in the top left, how it takes me to a landing page that I selected, and I selected Course Dashboard as my landing page. Some of you, my primary teachers, may think that is what I want as well. So from this area, when you scroll to the very, very bottom, you're going to see the option of how you want to set your home page. So do you want it to be that recent activity, or do you want it to be course dashboard? You select that and select Save Changes. So that was the first area that I wanted to point out to you. The second area I wanted to point out to you, if you can scroll back up to the top, I want to take you to the Notifications tab. And I think this is really important for people to know, because as you go using Schoology, you're going to join a lot of courses, a lot of groups, and you're going to get bombarded with emails because it's set in some courses and groups automatically to give you an email for every notification. And it may become a lot. What we don't want happening is we do not want you blocking them or spamming Schoology.com, because then anything important is going to get lost. So in this notifications area, you can get very granular about what notifications you want on and off. So for example, when I would like an email when course updates are posted on my custom, I have a custom list. So when I click custom, this edit appears. And as you can see, I can turn on the courses that I want email notifications of and the ones that I don't. It's very simple to get here and do that. So For example, I do not want any emails for assignment submissions. Think about how many courses I have. Every time somebody submits an assignment, I would get an email. Whew, that's a lot. So you can customize this here with your courses, your groups, any public groups, schools, and personal information. If you do download the Schoology app, you can also mess with those push notifications here as well. So it's nice to be able to be in one spot and mess with all of your notifications rather than going to this group to check with those notifications and go to that one and do it there and so on and so forth. It becomes very cumbersome and you just get like for me, if it's too many clicks, I get frustrated and I give up. But again, what we don't want happening is we don't want those emails going into junk or spam. Those are very important as a teacher. Definitely don't want kids saying they're messaging you and you're like, what are you talking about? I ain't getting nothing. All right, any questions about notifications? Okay, I'm gonna have you scroll to the very, very bottom. We call this our footer down at the bottom. I want you to know that we do have the capability of changing the Schoology platform to only a few languages. We're working on adding more, but right now, if you have any students where English is not their first language and you want their Schoology to feel more comfortable for them, and they are of these language backgrounds, you may click on this and it changes the Schoology platform into those into their language. It does not change anything that you put into their language. It doesn't change any PDFs you upload into their language. It only changes courses from being courses in English to courses in their native language. So for example, let's do Spanish. You can see all of this is in Spanish for them. But again, anything that I put and post in English is going to stay English. I just wanted you guys to know that's there. I think it's always like a hidden little gem that some might forget about. All right, I'm going to have you hop to my course again. So to get there, you may need to click on courses. If you moved it around, it should be where you left it. If you do not see it in your list here when you click on courses, remember click on that logo. Yours says MCS at the top left. Get to course dashboard, and then you can scroll until you find it. But go ahead and hop into my course, please. All right. In my course, I'm going to ask you to open up this October 23rd, Getting Refreshed with Schoology. If you click on that, thank you for those that are adding questions here. I will get to them shortly. But if you want to click, I'd love for you all to click into this yellow folder that says try it out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop into my student account and do this with you. So give me just 1 second. I am a student. Her name is Rachel Green. And I'm going to move this up so I can locate it faster. There we go. All right, so I'm in here. I'm going to open up this October 23rd. I'm in the yellow folder that says try it out. I'm going to click on that, and I have a couple of activities for you. The first one is an example of a discussion. So when I click on the discussion, it says, I'm so excited for you to be here. Tell me your name, something you've heard about Schoology that excites you, a fun fact about yourself. You don't have to type about all of this, but go ahead and click on it and share just a little bit about yourself. I know you guys did a bit ago, but we're having practice on a material type. And after you post, refresh your browser and you'll start seeing other people's posts on this discussion. Yay. see some of you guys are getting in here and posting on the discussion. As you can see, it is very simple to ask a question and have students comment on your discussion. When they click in the box, they can type their response, very easy. Schoology, we call this the rich text editor, these little options right here, and you're able to bold, italicize, underline. You can bullet list, number list, indent, increase, decrease indents. We can link externally to websites. We have a spell checker. Add our font. We can insert things like math symbols or equations. You can even remove formatting, and there's an accessibility checker for students that might use screen readers. Also on post, students could attach files. I'm gonna go back to my reading teacher days, and I want them to share their summary provide some evidence. So this evidence could come from a document or somewhere else. You can link again to external places. Students can attach things from that Google Drive that we mentioned earlier. But not only that, thinking of my primary teachers here where typing for students might be a little bit difficult. They can actually click on here, they can record just their audio, or they can record audio and video. Really great tool. They can play it back as many times as they need until they're ready to post it as their discussion response. Thank you for those that participated in my discussion and even responded to each other. 50 books per year minimum. I just hit 60 books yesterday, so I'm proud of myself. Oh my gosh. If you can, we need to let Matthew know about this. I don't want to say your name wrong, because he may need to put in a support ticket. You should be able to see calendar. Oh, wait, it says you're enrolled in more than 150 courses and groups. Weird. We'll have to figure out what's going on. It's a lot of courses and groups. All right, so I also want to point out a couple more things you may see here. You see this immersive reader. You're going to see immersive reader on updates. You're going to see immersive reader on assignments, discussions, pages. I think I said everything. Assignments, discussion, pages, updates. Not assessments. Assessments, there is a place for you to record your voice, but they don't have that on there for assessments. So what's really cool about Immersive Reader is that when I click on it, I'm going to have a robot read the text for me. So I click, I can have it read by word, I can have it read the whole thing.
Welcome to Schoology.
I can change the speed, voice selection, I can mess with text size, font, themes. I love dark mode. I can even mess with some grammar options and even some reading preference. Students with dysgraphia or dyslexia that need line focus, this is here for them. There's a picture dictionary. So let's see, respond, what does it mean? Oh, that one's not going to be, well, discussion show. There we go. It has this cool picture dictionary, and then it can even translate words or the whole document in students' language. So again, talking about our students where English is not their first language, I can change it to the language that fits them.
Bienvenido a Schoology. Estamos ansiosos por...
Pretty cool, right? I can always go back to original, Spanish, original. So again, you will see this icon or immersive reader anywhere in Schoology, and that is what it does. I'm going to click on what we call our breadcrumbs at the top. I don't know if you saw that. I'm going to click on this. This says try it out, and it takes me back a step. So I can see we looked at a discussion. I wanted to upload a PDF for you to see how nice it is to have a PDF uploaded. And I like to showcase this because sometimes you're sending these PDFs to students and they're downloading them, and it's killing the storage on their computer because some of these PDFs are 40-something pages long, where when you add it to Schoology, they don't have to download anything. So they can follow along, read along. Now, if they need to print, they can print. And if they do need to download, they have that capability. But it may just be notes for them or just a resource. So adding a file to Schoology is very simple. Adding links to Schoology, for example, at this Help Center, you have the option of the link opening in Schoology. So isn't that cool? I did not get another tab open. Can you guys, I bet you guys know that life of tabs with more tabs and more tabs. Well, it gets really tough as a student to try to manage things. So when you add links to Schoology, you can have it open in Schoology and not have them take them out. Now, not all links work perfectly within Schoology due to security things, but most do. Now, I told you a bit ago, you can go back to try it out to get back to the folder, but we also have this fancy next button, and that will move me to my next work. So this is called Bad Case of the Stripes, and this is an example of a assignment. So here I'm going to read, think about my sensory images, and I'm going to submit work to my teacher. So when I click on Submit Assignment, I have the option to upload, create, or attach from my resources. And my resources can be my Google Drive. So again, if they're asking me to type something about my senses, I'm not going to upload anything. I'm going to select create, and I can create my assignment by typing here and submitting that to my teacher. If I click on this again, I can upload a file, or I can upload an audio or video recording, just like I was able to do with discussions. I can upload as many times as needed to this one assignment. But as you can see, it shows that I have submitted it to my teacher. So very simple way for them to submit work to you. This is really a one-way street because once they submit it to you, you are the only one that gets to see this work. I'm going to move to my next assignment. You're welcome to try this along with me. If you wanted to submit something to kind of see the process, you're welcome to click and try it as well. I do want to go to the next one because this one's a bit different. Oh, wait, this is a secondary one. That's not the one I want to do. I want to do an annotations assignment. So I had an elementary assignment and secondary, but I'm going to click on this Phases of the Moon assignment. And the reason I did that is because as you can see, when we were looking at this assignment, the wording says submit assignment. Oop, let me go to the next screen so you can see. See how this one says submit assignment. I want you to take notice on that because this is a traditional assignment is what we call it. But we have access to what we call an annotations assignment on the next one. And this is, instead of seeing submit, you're going to see the word start. And this is because once I click on it, I am beginning my assignment, which allows me to mark on a document that my teacher has uploaded for me to mark on. There we go. So this is a PDF. I think it's 2 pages. It's really zoomed in, so I'm going to zoom it out a bit. And now I have a couple of options here. I can draw and mark on this work. Ooh, I'm not good at this activity. Or I can type by clicking on type, selecting, that's highlight, selecting free text, click, and I can share the moon, which is a last quarter. I don't know. And now I can type on my work and write on it at the same time. As I go, when I'm done, I click submit and I can submit this work to my teacher for my teacher to grade. Very cool. If you may have used Kami in the past, this is a very similar to Kami. Not as robust as Kami, but it does do a good job of allowing teachers to upload a document and allow them to mark on it. I know Kami has immersive reader or something similar like that. We do not yet, but I know it's something that they're working on. At any time I want to keep working on my work, I can click on resubmit, and as you can see, my work will pop back up. I can clear it, start over fresh if I did it all wrong. I have that capability and control over my work. So any questions about the student view of assignments? Because now we're going to check out the assessment tool. So join me by clicking on that assessment tool. Take notice. It says, hey, try this assessment. Have fun. Don't worry about the right answer. But don't forget to play with the new student tools on the right side of the screen. It shows it is 26 points. I have made 0 of 20 attempts, so I have up to 20 times on this test. When I'm ready to begin, I click Start Attempt. So I have 10 questions here to try out each one of these. The first one being highlight the passage that used personification. So as you can see, as I go, I am highlighting. I can click on it and it highlights it for me. The tools that I'm talking about are these tools over here on the right, and these are really, really cool. If I click on this arrow, it will expand it so I know what the options are. I have a review. This is really cool because something that I don't remember having to teach kids is if you don't know an answer after 2 minutes, flag it, come back later. Once you start flagging the questions, they will be listed here as questions that you have flagged. So example, I'm going to flag question 1, 3, and 5. So now when I click at my review, I can see that I have flagged those. And those are the questions that maybe I struggled on. It took a bit longer, so I want to come back and check those later. Finish all the ones that I'm confident with and come back. This accessibility tool allows you to do what I love. I told you guys I love dark mode. So I can do this white on black or black on violet. I even can make the font smaller or larger depending on my needs. And it gives me the shortcuts on how to zoom in and zoom out. This option says eliminate answer choices, and I'm trying to find a question that I can use the eliminate answer choices on. So if I click on eliminate answer choices, it will it's supposed to cross it out. That's probably not, oh, here, let's see, true, false, will it work? Oh, this one will work for it. There we go. So if I know it's the wrong answer, I can click on eliminate answer choices and it will shade it out for me. I also have a calculator, so no need to pass out a calculator. I have one right here. I can move this around on my screen, close it out when I don't need it. I have a ruler, same thing. I can move this around, take it off my screen when I need it. Don't need anymore. I just click on it. And same thing with the protractor. Really cool tool to use. I do have full screen. So for me, I always got the question about like, how do they know they're not opening tabs? I think full screen would be my expectation so that all of their screen should be large. And when I'm walking around, I won't see any tabs because it's hidden from them. And I just click on the X to go back to regular screen. So I'll give you guys about 5 minutes. If you guys want to try and take my test questions and then submit, we will move on from the assessment and get into how to create everything. So I'm gonna give you guys 5 minutes to try my assessment. Please don't worry about getting the correct responses. It's just for practice, and then we'll move on from there. All right, you have less than 30 seconds remaining. So if you want to go ahead and click that submit, even if you're not done, that is just fine. All right, Heather, this is for you. So to get your your green puzzle piece test quiz, that one, to get that changed to an assessment, what you'll want to do is you will want to take the assessment one. Sorry, it's because I changed it up. You'll want to take the test quiz, the green puzzle piece, and you'll want to save to your resources. So from your course, click the gear, save to resources. Now, this is the only place you can do it is in resources. So no, that's why I'm getting it over there. Here's what I have. So as you can see, this is the green puzzle piece. So now from the green puzzle piece, you click the gear and convert to assessment. So Heather's question was, if I'm creating if I'm creating test quiz, which is Schoology's original assessment platform, and they're moving away from it to the blue puzzle piece, which is the assessment, enhanced assessment. Yeah, assessments is what it's called. And so to change it from a green puzzle piece to a blue puzzle piece, you will need to move it from a course or group, wherever it's at, and you need to add it to your resources first, then go to the gear next to the green puzzle piece and convert it to an assessment. Yes. All right. No problem. Also, once you go from green puzzle piece to blue puzzle piece, you're going to be so excited. Okay, so during that time, I asked you guys to complete the assessment. So I'm just going to hop in here because now I'm going to move to what a teacher sees. So sit back and relax and let me share with you what a teacher sees now that work is completed. So as you can see, I know that this is advanced work, but with a discussion, which we'll talk about creating a discussion here in a bit, I can actually add those due dates to them. But what I want to do is I just want to share with you really quickly how easy it is to grade a discussion using a rubric. So this is just a rubric that I have in my course. I can always create them as I go and we'll go through the steps, but I just want to show with you how simple it is to grade a discussion. I forgot a grading category, sorry. And add my. So now when I come in, I get, of course, the rubric. I have the student's name. There's that immersive reader I told you guys about that you can find. And now when I click this piece of paper with a pencil, this is where the grading occurs. And I've attached a rubric. So my rubric is set next to the grade. And it's so simple. Bam, bam, bam. Graded her work, submit, done, check mark. So simple. Click once, click the rubric, click, 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 save, submit. My grades are done. So simple. So that's really exciting as a teacher with how fast and easy it is. Because before, if I did anything with a rubric, I'd have to copy a rubric, then I'd have to staple the rubric to every assignment. And then I used a highlighter because I loved me a good highlighter and I circled everyone. And then I had to do math on a calculator. And then I had to take the math and then put it on that paper and then take that paper and put that into my grade book and then into my grade book, into my physical grade book, into my computer grade book. It was very time consuming to use a rubric, but when you use the rubrics within Schoology, you can attach it to an assignment, you can attach it to a discussion. It's so simple. Let's count how many clicks. Click 1, click 2, click, 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 click 3. And then grades are done. And if I have my PowerSchool sync set up, it syncs it straight to PowerSchool. Thank you. I'm glad you love that. Heather, I think it creates one of each. I can test it out for you at the end if you want to wait. All right, so let's move to the assignments. So when I click on the assignments, I can see who has turned in work. And as you can see, only Rachel Green has turned in work. You guys didn't do your work. But when I click here, I can see who has done it. who needs grading, who turned it in on time, who turned it in late, how many I've graded, and who hasn't submitted. Talk about you guys not doing your work. Shame, shame. That's okay. But with that, I can open up Rachel Green's work. I can see her submission here, whether it was audio, video, text, and upload from their Google Drive, it will be listed here. If there's additional pages, I can click on it. Additional submissions will be listed here. I can even give feedback on her work. This is like a sticky note, or I can even mark on it. So if I am somebody who wants to give feedback, I can do so this way as well. So as the feedback is going, I can draw, I can type. Something else I can do is over here in this right area, this is going to be a thread of conversation between myself and Rachel Green. So as Rachel Green is working, I could be having her submit her first draft, and then I can come over here and I can comment on it. That comment can be text, or I can even click on the microphone and give audio video feedback here. Again, told you guys I love a good voice memo. Students can listen to it while they follow along with the feedback on their work. Very simple grading and assignment. Annotation, same concept. As students submit work, I can click on it, open it up, and see, oh, thank you, Heather. I can see the work that they have submitted here as well. And finally, let's look at the assessment. I think this is very powerful with the grading. Once you get into the grading of the test, I can have it automatically sets it to where the lowest scoring question of the assessment will be listed at the top, and then I can go down further. So I'm able to see right away which questions I need to reteach, or did I make an error? And I'm human, I can make an error, that happens. When I click on the item, it takes me straight to the question, and I can see how every single one of my students answer this question. So I can look at my test by questions, by every individual question, or I can look at my test by student. So when I click on by student, all of my students in ABC order are listed. I have a status. I have their grade, of course. I have how many times they attempted it. Remember, I get 20 times. As you can see, Heather attempted it twice. I have date and time stamps of the last time it was modified and how long it took on a test. You guys think about how awesome it will feel when this happens to you. When Sarah's mom calls and says, "Why is Sarah failing your class?" And you say, "Well, looking at Sarah's most recent test, we have 26 questions. She only was able to get 10 and a half correct." But that could also be because it took her 7 minutes to complete a 26 question quiz. That's not even close to a minute per question. And you're going to feel so good when you can screenshot this and send it to them. I can also click on the attempt, which is this row right here, and it will take me to Sarah's test. So now I can see how Sarah did on every individual question. I can provide feedback on the question. I can override if I, maybe part of her 504. I can always override the final scores, and I can always move to my next student by clicking on the arrow at the top. So assessments are a very powerful tool. I could do a whole day session on assessments, let me tell you what. And there's just so much you can do here. You have great reporting. You can see nice quintile report about how your students are doing on their scores, as well as by the item performance. You can create things, copy it to courses. You can print assessments. You can even take the test as a student. Let's say I don't know, I think of my student who fell off the monkey bars and both of his arms were in casts for a while. So computer tests would be definitely hard for him. I can always take a test for them. I can unsubmit any submissions, and I can even delete it if there was a huge error and I just wanted them to start over. I can do that if needed. Once it's deleted though, guys, it's gone. Can't get it back. So you guys all participated in some work for me. So what we're going to do now is we're going to open up our Sandbox course and try out some of our new learning. So let's head to your Sandbox. So remember, you created one a bit ago where you guys went through all the steps. So you have the Sandbox course. We added an event. let's talk about some things that you can do within your course, okay? We'll get to the add materials in just a moment. The first thing I want to do is I want to take you to this course image. As you guys know, having a course image is going to be very helpful to students. It's so nice to look across these courses and know what each of the courses are. Compared to seeing the blue rectangles, it's harder for students to differentiate what course is what when they see those blue rectangles. So Canva, I know you guys are a Canva district. Canva has a great um, library of course images. Just hop in there, search for reading course image or search for Schoology course image. You can go out to Google and locate free ones that are out in Google Images or go create your own. You can use Google Drawing. You can use PowerPoint. There's many options out there for you to get away from the blue rectangle. There's one more thing. If you click on the blue rectangle and you click on Edit Picture, Schoology even feels as passionate as I am about different course images rather than the blue rectangle. So they even have some here for you. I'm just going to use one of theirs for now. Ta-da! Very simple. Also in this area under course or under the course image, you do have some course options. You can send messages to your whole course. You can edit some things about your courses, not a lot, because if you edit it, you may mess up your sync or it will just override. So I always leave the edit info alone. You have an edit privacy course settings area, which allows you to mess with things like who can edit discussion posts, who can post updates. If you're interested in the elementary view of Schoology, that is here as well. We have moderating a post. So if you are a secondary and you're nervous using discussions for the first time, you can always moderate your post here as well as a recycle bin. Materials is going to be where the teaching and learning is happening, where students find their access to their test or their assessments. But then the update section, this is going to be where you share announcements. Remember when we landed in Schoology, I told you most recent updates and announcements students see? Well, that for you to share that with them is going to be updates. So here I'm going to tell them Friday is pizza day. Yay. We all love pizza day, right? And I love a good emoji. I don't know if you guys are emoji people like me, but I always love to add an emoji. Let's see if I can get my emoji keyboard to come up. Come on. There you are. Okay. It's clicking the wrong key. So as you can see, I can add a pizza. I can add a bunch of pizzas. I love, again, a good emoji. Here's those rich text editing tools that I told you about. Where were we when I was messing with those? Oh, it was a discussion. So you can have a little bit of fun with your post here. You can even insert images. If I have an image of a pizza, I can add it here. I can add some symbols, equation. I'm actually going to add an image so you can see how simple it is to add an image. So I click insert content, image/media. All I need to do is have an image somewhere to attach it. So let's use this cute little book bag that I have. There's like a little thing here and I can click and drag to make this larger. Get out of my way, Grammarly. There we go. See, I can move it up and down. My book bag is huge. So if I click on it, I can shrink it. So if you're following along with me and you added a photo to your update, just click on it. You get the nice little circles to shrink it down to the size that you want. Very simple. And then I can shrink this down more so I can see. I can attach files. So maybe it is a permission slip asking them to come to pizza day. I can attach that here, there. We all know about that black hole of a backpack. Once you put something in there, it disappears by the time it gets home. Why not attach what it is that's coming home? A link if I need to link them anywhere. I have my resources again. Is this going to come from my Google Drive? Maybe it's a slideshow I want to share with them. Audio, video recording. I can record myself giving an announcement about pizza day if I want. In updates and only in updates do we have a poll. So I could ask them, what topping would you like? And in this poll area, I can have my pizza types. Of course, I'd probably give them more than cheese and pepperoni, but maybe I'm getting Little Caesars, so they get cheese or pepperoni and that's it. And then again, I can copy. So this means I can copy my update to my other courses just by check marking. I don't have to rewrite this post now for all of my other courses. And so once I click post, if you are following along with me and you just posted your first update, way to go. You have already achieved something wonderful. And doing updates in Schoology is something so powerful. Students can vote on their pizza. Again, you will only find this in updates. It is anonymous, so you will not know who clicks on what. If you need to know, you're going to want to use like a Google form or something else. This is more an anonymous area. Any questions about updates? I don't see any questions in the chat. So let's click on the Materials tab in Schoology because now we're going to get into adding some material types. Okay, so I'm going to come back to my slides. I just want to talk about the different material types here. We like to organize them by informational and interactive. So informational materials in Schoology, these are just the teachers are giving out the information. The first one being folders. What a great way to organize your course by folders. So for me, if I were back in the classroom, I would organize mine by week, week of, and inside of it would be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's how I would organize my stuff. How you organize yours might be by unit, by subject, by 9 weeks. But just like you organize as you can see, we organize our folders. We love to color code them. Just as you organize your classroom, your physical classroom, I encourage you to think about how can you organize your Schoology classroom. So in your course, when you click on Add Materials, you're going to see Add Folder. Sorry if you hear yelling. My husband's a Rangers fan. So if you guys are into baseball, Rangers and Astros are playing right now. So he's like shouting really loud. So some good messages happen. But from your add materials, if you click on add folder, this is where you get to get really customizable. You get to change the color. As you can see, we love a good color theme. Give it its title. I'm going to use this folder as like classroom information. Because let me tell you guys, I would give out all my classroom information copies to all my kids the first week of school, and the next week I'd get 10 more new kids, right? So why not have a digital folder and I can just say, hey, welcome to my class, all of our classroom information, check out Schoology. It's in there. So I can give that folder, I can change the color. I have those rich text editing tools that we've seen before. My favorite one being insert content because I can add me a cute image. And as you can see, we love our images. So I'm just going to attach that little book bag again. This book bag icon might be my overused Schoology clip art. I love it so much. He's so cute. All right, so here he is. I have my image, I have my folder. Now let me point out a couple things. Now this date is if you're planning to publish and unpublish things. So as you can see right now, it is published, meaning as soon as I click create, my students are going to see that. But if I want it to publish maybe at the start of 9 weeks rather than being published right now, I can have Schoology publish it and unpublish it for me rather than me having to remember to publish and unpublish. So that's what the date's for. We've got start date, during the date range, and as you can see, end date, unpublished keeps it hidden. I'm just going to go ahead and click publish and click create. So you may want to add to your to-do list whenever you get time to so whenever you unpublish work, so let's say you want to unpublish your first 9 weeks folder because you're done. Now, John Hattie will tell you that's not a good idea to hide work that students have done because they think it's important that they use that to help them. But if you are somebody that's like, nope, I don't want my kids in there, that's at your discretion. When you unpublish it, you are unpublishing everything in there. So students cannot go back and see their work and they cannot see their grades in Schoology. Now, if you have already synced it to PowerSchool and that grading period is over, it will stay in PowerSchool. You, the teacher, will be able to see those grades in your grade book and whatnot, but it will hide it for students. That's what you're saying is, I want it unpublished, so it hides everything for them, not for you. So you created a folder. Good job. All right, next one we're going to click on. Let's come here. Our next item are files, links, and external tools. This is going to allow you to attach files from your hard drive, links from the web, or embed any external tools that work well with Schoology. Now, when you tried it out in my thing, I had attached a PDF here. In my course, I do have a pink folder of more information about files, but it's very simple. You just select add materials, add file, link, external tool, // and you get to decide, are you adding a file? Are you adding a link or that external tool? I'm going to attach a file, click on file, and now my options are to attach a file. The max is 512 megabytes. This file I need to have on my computer somewhere. Let's see, we will do my Salesforce training that I did and click add. Now, as you can see, my file is now attached in Schoology. So this is a great way for anyone that is, sending papers home or having them need a document. Why not put it in Schoology so that they can have access to a digital copy of it? Maybe they're absent. This is a great way to get that in there. Very simple step. And adding a link, very simple as well. Add materials, click that same option. Select link. You will need the URL. We'll just do classroom screen. I need a title. And I have a couple of options. Anytime you see this 3 dots that look like a triangle, this means individually assigned. So I can individually assign this to a student or to a group of students, and only those students will see it. I have this piece of paper right here, and it's set to where the link will display in Schoology. So if you remember when you were in my course and you clicked on my link that said Help Center, this is what display in Schoology looks like. It displays it right here for me. If I turn that option off, when they click on it, it's going to display in a new window, meaning it will open up into a new tab. The green button means it is published and students can see it. If I don't want them to see it, I click on it and turn it off. And then again, there's that copy to courses, so I don't have to recreate anything that I do in Schoology, because as I create it, I can go ahead and copy it in Schoology. So as you can see, we've got a file in here, and it didn't download to my computer, so no need to fill up the storage on my computer. I also have a link, which is that classroom screen, but I want to show something out to you. If you click on the link and nothing happens, your students are going to be like, Miss, link's broken. It's not working. Hey, that's what they're going to say. Trust me, it's happened to me. And you can say, you know what? It's just not working in Schoology. The link does work. Just come over here and click on this arrow with a box, and it will do what you want it to do, and it will open it up into a new tab for them. If you ever see this redirect notice, that's totally normal. All Schoology wants to do is make sure that you know that it is a link that you are trusting. They don't want you to come back and be like, I got this spam from clicking a link in Schoology. And so then knowing that that link is going to do that, and you don't want your next period or for students to continually say, Miss, the link's not working, you can come in here and you can edit your link, and you can click on it to display in a new window, save changes. So now when they click on the link, it will just go ahead and display it in a new window without that white screen and them saying, Miss, your link doesn't work. Also, I do want to point out that these gears here allow you to edit things. You can unpublish and publish it straight from the item. I can move, or I can click and drag to move stuff around. I can move this at the bottom if I want. I also can copy to course straight from here. So let's say you create this classroom information with all of your information in here. I can click the gear and I can copy it to all my courses rather than one item at a time. I can move by folder, click the course you want to copy it to, and copy the folder. I can delete and I can save to my resources. All right, our next one is a page, and Pages is really creating your own web pages within Schoology. It's very simple. So let me open up my course to show you some pages. I'm in this pink folder if you're following along, and I have a pink folder in here again, and I have some page examples. So here are some examples on how you might use Pages if you're interested in what a page is for. It's very text, you can have images, you can have hyperlinks. Again, it's informational. It is not to ask them to submit work. You can embed videos in here so students don't have to open up a new tab to watch a YouTube video. It is embedded right here in the page, and so much more stuff. So pages, again, are your informational items. And when you select add materials, add page, here's where you can add the title of your page. And this is the area to allow you to have some freedom. You may be copying this from a PDF or from a workbook or something, and you can paste it here, and most of the formatting will come over. Any questions about pages? Again, in my course where you joined a bit ago, I do have a folder. It's this informational materials where I have information about pages for those of you that was something that you were interested in, and how to. We have some resources in here. The next area, we're going to talk about interactive materials. So first one being media albums. Media albums are very self-explanatory. Do you want students? Yes, it's under materials. Yes, yes, yes. Sorry, saw the question pop up. If you want students to submit work, or if you want to submit images or videos, media albums are a great place for that. And again, add materials, add media album, give it its title. It could be like lab photos. And then you can write the description here. Individually assign, you'll see that again, publish and unpublish. Commenting, do you want them to be able to comment on those photos? Who can add media to this album? This is set to instructors and students can add media, or you can turn it off to where only instructors can add media. Discussions. We talked a little bit about discussions just a bit ago. Let me publish a folder for you. Publish this. Thank you. And here I have some more information. I know I'm going at a fast pace, so in here I just want you to know we have more information here about discussions, assignments, and just some assessment information for you. But let's go to our Sandbox course and let's create a discussion by selecting Add Materials, Add Discussion. It's always fun to try these things out just so that it kind of sticks and you can remind yourself what the difference are between the different material types. So in a discussion, remember you're posting a question, a prompt, and students are able to respond to the prompt. So here, what are you wearing for Halloween, for trick-or-treating? So here I'm asking them that same question. I'm just going to re-put that in there. I have that rich text editing tools. I can even insert content like images, media, Google Drive, YouTube, anything that's embeddable, I can embed here on my discussion. I told you earlier, if you add a due date to it, that is going to be helpful because it will show up on their calendar. And if I want to take this as a grade, I will click on that and fill out the pieces that need to be proper, need to make it work. I need to be able to grade. Words are getting hard for me. Sorry, guys. If it's not worth the grade, I don't need to check mark it. With discussions, you have some really cool tools like that individually assign. You have a lock button. So again, John Hattie will tell you about after a discussion, how a discussion can be used to support students in taking a summative or a formative assessment. So after a discussion, you can lock it and it will prevent them from commenting and replying, but they can still look at it as a resource to help them for a final test or whatnot. There's our publish and unpublish again. You even have the capability to click on this guy where it requires them to post first before revealing other responses. I can have shared discussions. So if I want period 1 and period 5 to discuss a topic together, I can do that by clicking shared discussion and selecting the course that I want them to be able to discuss. I will have to put a password on it just for security. And again, copy to course clipboard. You guys have seen this before. Click create, and those are your steps on creating a discussion. Now, rubrics I briefly touched on it, but they're really one of my favorite tools. There are help documents on how to create a rubric, but I know for a fact that I've worked closely with Matthew Keachum and all of his EdTech team. So they are great people to lean on if you're like, oh my gosh, I need to know more about rubrics, and Danny did not have enough time to talk about rubrics. Be sure to get with his team because they will do a great job in getting you hooked up on rubrics. The next item are assignments. So in your Sandbox course, if you're following along, when you click on Add Materials, you will see that Add Assignment option. No, okay, so with rubrics, yes, definitely get with Matthew's team. Absolutely not. You can copy and paste them right into Schoology. With assignments, you give it its title. What was it? Bad Case of the Stripes. Stripes. I can give the description, I can attach work, but you need to decide what type of assignment is this? Is this going to be a Google Drive assignment, which allows them to get their own individual copy of something that you've created in your Google Drive? Is this an annotations assignment where you're going to submit a document and then they can write on it, or they can draw on it, or they can type on it? We saw both of those. Well, we only saw the annotations. Or am I going to leave it alone and it will be a traditional assignment where they can submit work and they just click submit assignment and attach it? Again, adding a due date puts this on their calendar, letting them know it's coming up. If it's worth a grade, which it should be, you will select the proper grading category, which you will match whatever you guys have set in your grade books. Couple of options down here. Again, do I need to use a rubric for this assignment? I don't have to. I have my individually assigned. I have that lock button, meaning they can come back and look at their work. They can't submit anything else. I have submissions enabled, meaning they're able to submit. If I don't want them to submit anything, I can turn that off, and this just becomes like a row in the grade book. Publish and unpublish, commenting, disabled or enable, and then I have that copy to course option again. So creating an assignment and all of its features, very easy once you get going. You guys might notice, man, a lot of these buttons are very similar to each other, and that's on purpose. Any questions about discussions or assignments? Now, assessments, I told you guys I could spend all day on assessments. I do just want to get through the couple of steps of creating an assessment because they're so amazing. And honestly, I would change the word assessment to activity because it doesn't always have to be an assessment. I feel like calling it an assessment is limiting it. Is there a worksheet that could be turned into an assessment so you don't have to grade a worksheet? So from your add materials, add assessment is going to be one of your options. You do have a couple of things you have to click here first. You, of course, got to give it its name. When is it due if you have a due date, or is it open all the time? Submissions, even though we're creating this, if I click create and submissions is set to disable, students cannot take this test until I come in and click enable. And then now they can start taking the test. What's really cool is we do have the feature to enable from until, and I love this one because students are sneaky and they may want to take this test in their second period class, but nope, I only want them to take it during the time that they're in my class. So I can set the test to open at 8 a.m. and then close for submissions at 8:50. So they can only take the test in the 50 minutes they're in my class. Now, some of them might get sneaky and realize that you're doing that. And so not feeling good, I'm going to stay home. So I can actually set a password if I want. So they have to be in class at 8 o'clock to get the password to access my test. And just a heads up that it is case sensitive. So if I do my word with a capital A, lowercase p, capital P, lowercase l, capital E, they have to type it in the exact same way. Category, again, if you're going to sync this to PowerSchool, make sure you select the proper grading category. If you select ungraded, when they submit their test, they won't get a grade because it's ungraded. And then you've seen these options below. Once I click that create button, it takes me into the setup area of my assessment. So here's instructions. What's going to be displayed before they start their test. You have some settings like time limit, randomly ordering, and possible points. Remember that toolbar that was on the right-hand side that I shared with you? You get to turn on and off features, like flagging questions for review. I don't know why somebody would turn that off. Like, I wish it would automatically be turned on. I don't build the product, I just present on it. But I encourage you to have that on. Can they eliminate answer choices? That's up to you. Calculator, yes, basic or scientific. Ruler, yes, 15 centimeters, 6-inch. Can they use a protractor? Can they highlight text? And can they use a notepad? You get to turn these features on and off for them. Finally, do you want them to view a result after that's done? So after they click submit, can they go back and look at their test? Yes or no? And also, if you say yes with correct answers, if they missed a question, it will share with them what the correct answer is. How many times can they attempt it? They get up to 20 times. And once you do that, you can take the highest score or the last score that they submit. You save all of your settings, and then now you're ready to get over into the questions. And this is where, unfortunately, I do not have enough time in my day to tell you about each and every one of these. But in our course, I do have a folder about course assessments. And in here, you're going to see some resources for you, as well as some how-to assessments. Again, how could this support you as an activity more than an assessment is what I'm going to challenge you to think about. All right. Any questions that are lingering that you may have? I'm going to hop into my discussion and check there. I'm going to publish a couple things. And I know, Matthew, if you're still there, if you want to get on and talk about your evaluation.
Yeah, thank you. So
Uh-huh.
in the chat is a training feedback survey. And I just ask all of you that are attending, please fill out that survey. That also helps me with the attendance for the PD catalog to get your attendance and your PD initiative credit to you. So I strongly suggest that you fill out that training feedback survey in your chat. Thank you.
And then I'm going to add my evaluation to it. So I know that you guys have yours, which I appreciate. I know Matthew uses it for his data. And then mine is for me that goes for my data. So I appreciate you guys. I wanted to make sure to give you guys enough time to be able to finish both, as well as ask any questions that you might have, because yes, it's a lot of information. Again, this is a refresher. Matthew mentioned that there's going to be more offerings that are going to be, for example, I don't know, I'm not going to tell Matthew what to choose, but maybe the next one will be about assessment. So you will come and we'll dive deeper into assessment. So this one is really an overview of all of Schoology, where the next offerings that you'll see come available are going to be drilling deeper into the different material types. Oh, I forgot what I was doing. All right, let's see. There were some questions in here. Oh, Seth. Needs grading. I don't think so.
Yeah, sorry about all my questions. I've been I've been keeping a list for years.
Yes. You know who you need to send this to? You send it to Matthew, because Matthew's very good friends with a lot of the people at Power School that could take these suggested features.
Okay, yeah, I definitely will do that. Thank you, Danny.
Yeah, I wonder why. So I didn't even know this. So this is a great question. Why does it not show up under to do? Maybe because the robots are grading it for you, so then it's not there for you to do. Like that's the whole purpose of an assessment is it grades it for you. I don't know. But if you have a question in there that you need to grade, like a like a
Yeah, I'll
essay,
have to give that a try. That's a
yeah.
good thought.
So that's my thought on that one. Folders. Me too. Pages, that's a good session. We might need a hint towards Matthew to do about some pages.
Well, and what I
Yeah.
mean by pages are the ones on the left side here where it says like
Uh-huh.
analytics and such.
Mhm.
Like is there a way to hide some of those or
So there is a fun way. So as you can see, my course image, you know, it's that perfect rectangle. But on Canva, if you use bookmark, you can have a long course image that goes up and down, and it can push that stuff down to the bottom. Now, we
oh,
can't make a course image go left and right, but you can make a course image go down far. And I've always done that as for fun, just to kind of move stuff down.
uh-huh.
But that's just preference. And it's
Okay,
probably just mine and your preference that gets busy.
thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for coming. You look like a Schoology guru, but hopefully you learned something new today, even if it was how to duplicate a tab or something. So again, in my course, today's session is in here. As we go through more of these, we will add folders. So I will continually use this course. So if you come to more of my sessions, you're already in the course, so that's one less step you have to do. But in here, I have all of these resources for you. Again, if you could get that session evaluation done for me, thank you, thank you, thank you. But other than that, I will hang out here for the next 3 minutes with any questions. But you guys have been a wonderful group. I always love working with Modesto. Feel free to log off once you've completed your 2 surveys. Thank you guys. Have a great evening.
Thank you. That was really great info. And once you got the recording, just send it to me and I can send it to the group.
I